So thanks a lot, Stefan. And let's go over to the next talk by Thomas Pellegrini.
So the work I'm presenting here was to design an audio tagging system which tries to discriminate between 5 classes, a background sound class, mainly comprised of forest sounds, and between 4 primate vocalization types or primate species, chimpanzees, gunnons, mandrills, and mangabees. As you can see, the distribution between the 5 classes is pretty unbalanced. The main experiment of the paper was a comparison between different standard neural network architectures, standard CNNs, convolutional neural networks, with 6 and 10 blocks of layers, MobileNets, residual neural network, and a wide residual neural network. The wide ResNet is the smallest model with about 1.5 million parameters, and the largest one was the ResNet 22 with about 60 million parameters. Here I'm showing only a partial result, the best results I obtained. So on 2 subsets, the development subset and the test subset, the first 2 lines show the results obtained by the challenge organizers. And the best results we obtained was a standard CNN with 10 blocks, achieving 97% mean average precision and 93.6% unweighted average recall on the development set. And it generalized pretty well on the test set too. So these results are much better than the baseline ones. The PyTorch code will be made available pretty soon. Thank you for your attention. In this slide, I'm showing the comparison between the different models. So we trained models with 8K Hertz sampled audio and 16K Hertz sampled audio, which was the original sampling rate. And as we can see, using the original sample rate was the best option. So the 2 best models were the CNN10 and the ResNet 22 models. The other ones, which are smaller, did not perform so well. Here is the architecture of the best model, which is about 4.5 million parameters. It's adapted from the work by Kong and colleagues in 2020. Here you can see the confusion matrix of the best model on the development subset. What we can observe is that the most confusions are made with the background class, as can be expected. And on the right side, you have a 2D representation of the embeddings obtained with the same model and using TSNE. We can see clear clusters for the 5 classes, but there is some overlap between the green and red points, mostly, which are background and chimpanzees vocalization. To train the models, we used a balance sampler to build the mini batches. We used MixUp and SpecAugment as augmentation techniques. And we average the weights during training with exponential moving average. So this is a small ablation study showing the different impacts of these techniques. So for instance, with ResNet 22, if we don't use a balanced sampler, we degrade the results. The same without using the moving average of the weights. And the best configuration for both ResNet 22 and CNN10 was using a balanced sampler and the two augmentation techniques. The impact of each technique here is not so clear with the best model CNN10. We did complementary experiments, for instance, using the CNN embeddings as input to a linear SVM, as did the organizers in some way. But this was clearly not as good as using the whole CNN model. We tried a fusion between CNN and ResNet embeddings and adding on top of those linear layer. And this improved a bit the average precision, but not the recall. Finally, as future work, since most confusions occur between background samples and vocalizations, we can think of designing a two-step system, with the first one distinguishing between background and vocalizations, and then on the vocalizations try to distinguish between the four primate species. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Thomas. One question or comment? Oh, there. I thought of training models with and without the background data or another class. Maybe it's possible to build an ensemble which allows the engineering of a classifier which takes the different votes. It's sort of implicit question. Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Great. So that's your next job. Okay. Thanks a lot.